welcome to the next art lesson. This one is called Picasso and Cubism. So we are going to be studying the artist Picasso and his style of Cubism. In this lesson, I'm going to go over a little bit of history of him and his different art styles that he participated in during his art career. And then we're going to focus on the Cubism part of this, the Cubism style that he was really famous for. And we're going to be drawing a portrait using a Cubism style to our drawing, okay? So this is an artist appreciation lesson. The materials you're going to need are your pencil, your eraser, and 2 warm-up pieces of paper. So I would like one of them to just be a regular unfolded, and then the other one I'd like you to fold it in half, please. Just like this. So you're going to have 2. All right, I'm going to go over what I always go over with you guys, just to keep a positive attitude about art. Number 1, always try your best. Number 2, if you get frustrated, take a deep breath, count to 10, take another deep breath, and try it again. Number 3, everyone's art is going to turn out differently. So your artwork is going to be uniquely yours, and it won't look anything like mine. And the last thing to keep in mind is that art is not perfect. We are just trying to do our best and have a good time while we're doing it. All right, so Picasso, what a guy. He produced a ton of artwork. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of history about him. He was born in 1881, and he lived a very long life. He lived until 1973. He was born in Spain, so he definitely spoke Spanish like you guys. And he was really lucky to be born into a family who appreciated art. His dad was a painter and an art teacher. So he got exposed to art from a very young age and received art instruction at a very young age. He could draw and paint by the time he was 10. And by the time he was 16, he had his first art exhibit, okay? So that means his art was displayed for the public to see. In 1899, he went to Paris, and he started painting like the French Impressionists. And he painted with some really famous artists, Monet, Van Gogh. In 1902, he returned back to Barcelona, and he started what was called his Blue Period. Here is an example of one of his Blue Period paintings. This is called The Tragedy. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the Blue Period was. He painted people, whether they were rich or poor, young or old, but he painted them looking really sad and using all blue values. So we have done a tinting and shading lesson with orange. Think about that with the blue. That's what he did with blue. He did a lot of tinting and shading using the color of blue. And a lot of times this cold color right here of blue, it symbolizes sadness. Okay, so he went through a period of that. That was his blue period. Let me see. Then in 1905, he began his rose period. So he switched colors. So he went from blue and he went to more cooler colors like rose. This is called Tumblr's Mother with Child, and he painted this in 1905. So that was his next period. And then shortly thereafter, he started, and he actually is one of the founding creators of Cubism. So I'm going to show you this one. This is called The Three Musicians. He painted that in 1921. But the very, very first painting that he's famous for starting the Cubism period is this one right here. So that's where he began Cubism. And so when it comes to Cubism, what he used was a lot of geometric shapes, and he distorted natural looking shapes so that the images he painted did not look realistic. So like I said, he is one of the founding fathers of Cubism. So what he tried to do was he tried to make his subject matters look almost unrecognizable, okay? So this was just a different way of showing perspective, of not only people, but of objects. And I'm going to show you some other of his paintings that were not of people, okay? But his very last period, I'll come back, we're going to focus on Cubism today. His very last period was that of collage. And, you know, a lot of people love making collages. They like to cut things out and piece them together. This is a famous one of his called Guitar. He did this in 1913. So a lot of different periods he went through. He also got into sculpture in 1929. A little bit about his life. He had a lot of different relationships. He was married several times, and he had several children. His first child was a boy. His name was Paul, and he was born in 1921. And then he had a daughter way later, 14 years later, he had a daughter, Maya. And then, let me read down because I think he had another, let's see. Then he had a son in 1947, and then another daughter 2 years later. So he had a total of 4 children, but spaced out by a lot of years. So the first one in 1921 and the last one in 1949. So big, big space. He was married several times, like I said, and he was very recognized by a lot of museums. So just to give you some examples, in 1957, he was, right before he was about 75 years old, there was a 75th anniversary exhibition by the Museum of Modern Art and the Art Institute of Chicago, where they displayed a lot of his works. And then in 1962, 9 New York galleries came together to celebrate him turning 80, and they each each gallery showed one phase of his art. So one gallery focused on Cubism, one on his blue period, one on his red period, one on his collage, and so forth. Let's see, what other interesting cool facts. It says here that he worked until dawn on the last day of his life. So he literally created artwork until the day he died, and that was April 8th.
Do you think he was in like the middle of painting when he died?
I don't know. It didn't say. It wasn't that specific, but it said he literally worked until the day he died.
So he was like in a hospital when he was painting?
It didn't say where he was. I just did a little brief search. So that was April 8th, 1973. That was a little bit before I was born. And then in 1980, a really famous museum in New York called the Museum of Modern Art, or it's also referred to as MoMA, they honored Picasso, this is after he died, by showing almost 1,000 of his works. And some of those works had never ever been seen by the public before. So he was honored in 1980, 7 years after he died, with that exhibition. So he greatly influenced the world and art. But I will tell you this, he was a man of many relationships. So he had several marriages, and he had a relationship, and I'm going to show you who this woman was that he had a very serious relationship with during his life. Her name was Dora Maar. So here she is.
But do you think they named Dora the Explorer after her?
I don't know if they named Dora the Explorer after her. I find that very unlikely, but who knows. So Dora Maar was a famous photographer, and she was the subject matter of many of his paintings. So what we're going to do today is we are going to sketch Dora Maar from the front.
Well, I mean, like, Dora kind of looks like that with like the short hair and everything.
I think it does. We're going to sketch Dora Maar from the side, and then we're going to combine those two sketches to create a cubist sketch of her, similar to this. This is a weeping woman, and this other one here I have. This one is called Portrait of Dora Maar. So those are two of his famous paintings. And then I wanted to show you this one. This one is of his daughter, Girl with a Boat. So that's of his daughter. And he also did he didn't just do people. He did things like this. Bread and fruit dish on a table. Yeah, that's what it was called. And this one, still life on a pedestal table. So he did a lot of different things. So I am going to put this one back up because this is who we are going to be creating today. We're not gonna copy this. We're gonna do our own. Okay, so this is Portrait of Dora Maar. So I'm gonna keep this up for a second, and then I'm gonna put it up to the side, off to the side, so you actually can't see it. But I want you to kind of look at her hair. I want you to look at her eyes, her nose. See how she has two different noses? One's to the side and one's to the front. This eye right here is off to the side, but it's actually looking back, and this eye is forward facing. Her hair is going off to the side like this, like she's facing to the side, and then her hair is forward facing. So that's what he did a lot. He created a person in a portrait using the perspective from the side, the front, and even the top. So we are going to practice that today. So get out your folded warm-up paper, and we're just going to work with that first. And I'm going to put her facing front in front of us, and we are going to do our best to sketch her. Okay, I also have this picture. I thought this was a really cool picture of her. That's Dora Maar as well. Okay, so let's get going. Everyone pick up your pencil. I want to make sure I have all my stuff in order. And here we have Dora Maar, and she's facing forward. So I'm going to start with her eyes, and she has almond-shaped eyes. So I'm going to start with her eyes facing forward. So we're all going to start.
Facing forward one?
Yep, we're going to do facing forward. So we're going to start with her eyes. And in Cubism, we just do really simple details, simple geometric shapes.
Wait, right now are we doing it in Cubism?
No, we're just doing it. So we're going to sketch her facing forward. We're going to sketch her facing forward here. Then we're going to sketch her facing to the side. And then, actually, you know what? I want to, Joey, before you keep going. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Sorry. Okay, we're going to sketch her facing forward. Then we're going to sketch her facing to the side. And then with our warm-up paper that's not folded, we're going to look at both of those, and we're going to create a cubist version of her. This is our warm-up. So I'm doing the eyes. I did almond shape, and then I did the inside of her eyes. And then I'm looking at her nose. It comes down. So it just kind of comes down the side. I can even do the nostril area if I'd like. Okay, I can have this part right here where it comes down to the lips, and I can do her lips coming out. I'm just doing my best. I have an eraser with me. You have an eraser with you. I feel like these lips are too big. Her lips are a little bit on the thinner side. Joey's even sketching in her eyebrows. He's a step ahead of me. So here's her lips, and her lips are closed here. And I can do her eyebrows. Going off to the side. So when we sketch people, it's easiest to start with their eyes and work down and up their face. Did the nose, did her lips, did her eyebrows. Her eyebrows kind of come all the way like down. It looks like to me. That's like the shadow. This is a black and white photo of her. She was a photographer. She was a very famous photographer. Okay, so there's her eyebrows, and I can do her at the top of her forehead area here, where her hairline is. That's this part right here. can come down to her ear area. Remember, this is just a warm-up. Okay, we're all just warming up. I'm going to do it a little bit darker so you can see. So here's her ear, and then her chin comes down. I'm just doing my best. And the side of her face over here. Here in this picture, you can't see her other ear. Her ear needs to be higher up. You can't see her other ear. Her hair is covering it, and she's actually not totally angled facing forward. Okay, and then I can do her hair. So I'm doing the top of her hair right here that goes off and over. If you need to pause at any point, please do. If you need to rewind at any point, go ahead. And here's her hair coming down. And then her hair kind of parts right here, and it comes down over here on this side. Okay. And then I'm going to do her neck area. I'm going to come all the way down her body. You're done with her face? Okay, I'm going to come down her body here, or her neck, excuse me. I'm going to come down her neck. And then it looks like her shoulder kind of goes out that way, behind her hair. And then here's the collar of her shirt. And then her shoulder goes off here. So her hair kind of comes down over her clothes. It's a very dark black and white. It's not as easy to see. So I'm going to ask that these images get put in Google Classroom for you guys to look at if you need them. So that, like I said, we're just warming up. We did the front of her. So we see her eyes facing forward, her nose, her mouth, everything's facing forward. So if you need extra time, I'd like you to pause the video right now and wait until you're done sketching all of Dora Maar. And once you have finished sketching her facing forward, then you're going to turn it, your warm-up paper, and you're going to flip it, and we're going to do her to the facing to the side. Can I show them yours, honey? Thank you. So here's my sketch. Here's Joey's sketch, and here's her picture. Okay, so everyone's is going to be exactly the way that they see her. Okay, this is the way that I see her. This is the way Joey sees her.
She has big eyebrows.
She does. She has, and they're quite long. So Joey did some bushier eyebrows. So now we're going to flip it over to the other side. Again, pause it if you're not there. Once you are, flip it over to the other side. And I'm going to put that off to the side. And now we're going to do a sketch of her facing to the right. So I'm going to start with her eyes. Can you see this okay, Joey?
Yeah.
Can you see this okay? Okay. I'm going to start with her eyes. This is her like eyelid right here. And then this is the other part of her eyelid. And it comes down, and her eyelashes kind of come up like that. It's hard to do the eyelashes. Her eyelashes kind of come up. And then here's her actual eye. And then her nose comes off up here and faces out. And then her eyebrow comes up and over. Her eyebrows aren't that big in this one, Joey. Maybe she plucked them. They're not as...
It looks like a dog right now.
That's okay. Just do your best.
Yeah, I know, but I'm not even done yet.
Okay. Joey says his sketch looks like a dog. You want to show him it?
Yeah, sure.
You want me to show him? Okay, this is Joey so far. He says, this looks like a dog. Just try your best. We're just doing a warm-up. So I did her nose. I can do the nostril right here. It almost looks like a, you know what it looks like to me, the nostril? It looks like a kidney bean. So it goes like this, and then in and out like that. Okay, then her lip comes down. I'm gonna come back up to the forehead and the other eye. It kind of comes, the forehead comes out here and the other eye over here. That is hard. Whew. That is challenging. Okay, so the forehead sweeps down. So I just did that sweeping motion. And then there's another eyebrow that kind of goes up like that. And then the other eye is kind of over here. Oh man. And her eyelashes. Oh wow, that's challenging. The other eye. If you just do one eye and you forget about this eye over there, that might be easier. That's a pretty tricky part right there. So here's her, I got her forehead, I have her eyes, her nose, and now I'm coming down to her lip. So here's her lip, it comes in. And then this is the other part of her lip. And it kind of goes like this. Her lips are thinner than what I'm making them. So here's her lip. And then her chin comes down. And then it comes all the way up like this. Wow. So that's my that's my version of Dora Maar. Now I'm going to start doing her hairline up here. Remember, you can pause at any time you need to pause. So here's her hairline. It comes, sweeps down. And then her ear. Ears are tricky. I'm going to do the top of her hair over here. It's kind of going into the background. It's very dark in this photograph, super dark, where her hair would be. And I made her lips way too big. I'm going to come back in for her lips. Maybe something like that. Okay, how are you doing, Joe?
Good.
Okay, erase as much as you might need. And then here her neck comes down. The ear, that's a little tricky. You can give her an ear that comes around like this. We're all just doing our best. So I'm looking at her picture, you're looking at her picture, and we're just sketching it the best we can. We started with the eyes, eyebrow, we came down the nose, came up and did the forehead, came down and did the lips, the chin, the hairline, the hair up top. We did the ear, and here's her neck right here. And then the rest of her hair kind of comes down like this. And then her clothes come out. Oops. And then I can even do a little bit of her clothes if I wanted to. Looks like she has like a collar, and then she has a really chunky necklace, like circles all over. So maybe I'll do like a necklace full of circles when I do her Cubism, the Cubism version of her.
Not full of squares.
Why not full? Oh, it could be, because you can distort it, right? Okay, so I have my side view of Dora Maar. I'm going to show you Joey's side view of Dora Maar. Okay. His is a lot tinier.
It looks like an old lady.
And he says it looks like an old lady. Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Did you do your best?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that matters. We're just having a good time, okay? So,
I know that's a bad thing.
to be an old lady?
No, that it looks like an old lady.
That it looks like an old lady? Okay. Okay, so Joey has his facing the front, facing the side. I have mine, same thing, facing the front, facing to the side. Ours look totally different. Now we're going to open them up, okay? And Joey and I are both going to look, and we're going to look at her facing forward, and we're going to look at her facing the side, and we're going to start with the eyes. So we're going to have one eye in a different perspective and another eye in a different perspective. One facing forward and one facing to the side. Does that sound like a way to start? Here, I'm going to give you that. Now, everyone get out your other warm-up paper. You had 2, and I'm going to show you Picasso's Cubism illustration of her, painting of her. I need to find my other warm-up paper. Joey, do you see my other one? Oh, here it is. Okay, so check it out. Look what he did. He made this eye not only facing from the side profile, he has it looking in. You do not have to do that. You do whatever you like. But he decided to do her eye facing in, even though it's the angle facing out. So look at the 2 eyes, look at the 2 noses. There are 2 noses present. Okay, look at how the eyebrows are different heights. We have hair from as if she's looking off to the side. We have hair as though she's right facing the middle. So let's start with the eyes. So I'm going to open up mine, and I'm going to put it up here. You guys can't see mine, but I need to have room in order to do my sketch of her. So I'm going to put mine up here. You have yours. I'm going to put Picasso's to the side as well. Like I said, I don't want you copying him. I just want you to have an idea of how he saw her. Okay, so I'm going to start with one eye facing forward. I'm going to do the almond eye. And I'm just going to do real basic geometric shapes. I'm not going to do a lot of real life looking, okay? So I'm going to do like a crescent eyebrow. So that's my geometric shape. I did an almond eye. I did a circle in the middle and then another circle in the middle. Okay. So I'm done with that. I can give her some eyelashes. I can go like this with eyelashes coming out. Okay. So that's going to be my eye. Then I'm going to do another eye, and this eye is going to be looking out, facing out. So I'm going to use a half of a triangle, and then I'm going to do a half a circle to close the eye off. And then I'm going to do her eyelid, which can kind of be like crescents. And then I can do her eye, the eyeball, like that. And then I can do her, I can do some eyelashes coming out. And then I can do a different eyebrow that's crescent going that way. So I have 2 different eyes going on, looking in 2 different directions, 2 different perspectives. Now, I could have switched. I could have had this eye over here and this eye over there, okay? Now we can do 2 sets of noses. So we can do the nose that comes off the forehead like this, like she's facing to the side, almost like a half triangle. And then I can do her forehead up here. And then I can give her another nose, kind of like it's coming off of here. And I can do something like this, where this is the nose to that eye. And I can give it a half of a circle here, and I can do a half of a circle here for the nostril. So now I have 2 noses going on. And then I can even do 2 sets of lips. So I can do my lips facing forward. And then I can do some lips. So here could be my forward facing lip, like this. Hang on, I want to do something different. I could have this be the forward facing part of the lip that goes like this. And then it could actually even run into the side profile lip that goes like something like this. They could even touch. It doesn't have to be exactly how he did it. I could do my own I can do my own Cubism style. So I actually have 2 lips going on here. And then I can have my chin come down here if I want. Oops. I can have my chin come down here. And connect to that lip. And then come up here to do her ear. And I forgot to mention, in a lot of the photographs that I saw her featured in when I was doing some research on her, she has her hands up by her face a lot. So look at all of the fingers that he created here for her. So I did the chin area. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna do some hair. So I'm gonna do some sweeping hair coming off to the side. And then I'm gonna do, I think I'll do that part of her part. I think I'm gonna bring this down, her forehead. I'm not gonna make so big. How are you doing, Joe?
Good.
You're so funny. Okay, so I'm gonna do some of her hair coming out like this, coming down. Oops, 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 oops. I can do some of her hair like this. And then I can do some of her hair like that. And then I can even give her some swooping bangs like kind of like he did. And those almost look like, this looks like a triangle here. So we're really focused on geometric forms, okay?
I'm done. That's it.
Okay, can you hang on a second? I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna work my way down her. Okay, so, and now I can do her neck because we're gonna actually be designing the background too, okay? With geometric shapes. And the hands are a little bit on the complicated side for me. So I'm gonna choose not to do hands. If you wanna do hands, go right ahead. So I'm gonna have her hair just kind of coming down like this. And then I'm gonna have her shoulder, I can have her shoulder be pointy, coming down. And then, you know, I could just do a bunch of different shapes inside here. Here's a rectangle. I can do like a slanted rectangle. This can be her clothes, like a slanted rectangle going that way. I can add that in the middle. I mean, I could just do a lot of different geometric shapes inside of her. And then in the background, I'm just gonna do a lot of different geometric patterns or shapes. So I can divide my paper. I can go like this. I can go like that. I can go like that. So I have 1, 2, 3, and a little 4th one here. And I can just do some geometric shapes in the background. So here are some circles. Like, oops, like this. I can do maybe something similar to this pattern over here. It almost looks like a brick facade, a brick background. So I can just do lines going straight across like this. You can be following along with me. You can be doing your own. Joey's doing his own. You can follow along with me or you can do your own. I can even do something really kind of clever where I put a line here and then I put a line on either side of that. And then I put a line on either side of this one. Okay, see how I'm doing that? It almost looks like bricks in the background. So here's that line, and so I go off to the side and put a line going down. Here's that line, I go off to the side. Here's this line, so I go off to the side, off to the side, off to the side. I can do that going all the way down. Please pause if you're trying to do this and I'm going too fast. You can pause the video and or rewind the video and see me do it again. Okay, so I just did like a brick background here. I did circles, a brick background. I can do maybe some diamonds in this area. What shapes did you do, Joey?
A bunch of different ones like squares, triangles, circles, rectangles.
Awesome. So I have one more section. So I have circles here, some square pattern here, I have diamonds over here, and over here, maybe I can just do some random rectangles going in all different directions. Like that, maybe? Yeah. So that was just my warm-up of trying to do the style of Picasso's Cubism. It's hard, huh? It's not, this is not easy. Okay. I love it. This is so funny. Okay, so here is Joey's, and he has this eye facing to the side, this one to the front. He has a nose going this way. He has, what is this?
That's his other mouth.
Oh, so this is a mouth going to the side, a mouth going in the front. She's got a lot of hands going on. Oh, are these all hands?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did a bunch of hands. He has an ear over here, and then he has all these different areas behind that have geometric shapes. So this is Joey's warm-up. When we come back for the next video, you're gonna bring both of your warm-up papers. So here's mine right here of the Cubist version, my Cubist version of Dora Maar. Here are my sketches, my real-life sketches of her. Here's Joey's in Cubism form. Here is the real-life sketches facing the side and the front. So we're going to bring our warm-up papers back for our next lesson. The next lesson we are going to actually be using our large piece of construction paper, and we're going to be sketching in, we're going to use our warm-ups for inspiration to do an actual Cubist portrait of Dora Maar, okay? We will see you for the next lesson, and I know this is challenging. I know it's a little tricky. It's a new, it is a new technique that we've never done before, but I think we're having a good time doing it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. We will see you for the next video.
Bye.